think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
The camera cuts, dead silence. No claps. No laughs. Not even a card shuffle. Just Whoopi Goldberg's eyes darting, lips trembling, gripping the table like it's the only thing keeping her from crumbling. But this pressure isn't from a teleprompter. It's from a courtroom. She's not on The View anymore. No sassy jabs, no laughs to hide behind. Now, she's the target. Why? Karoline Leavitt, the rising conservative firebrand, didn't tweet her frustration. She filed a lawsuit. And dragged Whoopi in with brutal receipts. What started as another spicy episode turned into a full-blown legal war.
I respect everything everyone is saying to me, and I don't want to fake apologize. I'm very upset about that people are misunderstood what I was saying.
Subpoenas flying, statements dropping, no more banter, just breakdowns. Gone is the sharp-tongued host. In her place, a woman unraveling under real heat. This case, it's bigger than gossip. It's history. It all started like any other day on The View, bold co-hosts, a controversial guest, and way too many slick insults disguised as conversation. But this time, the guest wasn't playing along. It wasn't just another face passing through the hot seat. It was Karoline Leavitt, and the shade came lightning fast. No warm-up, no fake smiles, just cold digs right out of the gate. Joy Behar kicked it off like she'd been waiting for the moment, flung a jab that landed hard, mocking Karoline's political climb as if it was all thanks to a pretty face and good lighting. Karoline laughed it off like it was nothing more than a viral moment gone too far. Then Whoopi jumped in, eye-rolling so hard it could have left a dent in the table. She waved off Karoline's entire career like it was just another byproduct of wokeness, not actual work. And of course, Sunny had to slide in her own dig, brushing off everything Karoline had done as just white privilege playing dress-up. Like the girl had walked into Capitol Hill straight out of a fashion catalog.
It's not good for anyone, and it's not good for poor folks. It is not good for y'all because you become slave fodder. It's not a good thing. It's not good for women because you are now being told and dictated to, and you can't say anything because they, throw you in a jail or whatever. People got very, very, very angry and still are angry. I mean, I'm getting, all of the mail from folks and the very real anger. Because people feel very differently.
The audience, they ate it up like it was the comedy event of the year. Claps, cackles, smug nods all around. You could practically feel the energy shift into high school lunchroom vibes. But Karoline didn't give them the meltdown they were fishing for. No yelling, no dramatic exit. She just took a breath, locked eyes with them, and mentally filed every insult away like evidence. Then days later, boom! Legal papers dropped like thunder. No warning, no teasing on social media. Just cold official documentation straight. From her legal team to ABC's front door. What did it say? Defamation, career sabotage, malicious intent. She didn't just clap back. She came for the network's neck. And she came heavy. This wasn't about politics anymore. This was about crossing the line on national television and thinking there wouldn't be consequences. Karoline turned a talk show ambush into a legal firestorm. Now the network wasn't dealing with a guest. They were facing a full-blown legal threat. And from the look of it, she was just getting started.
If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
A full-blown legal earthquake. The number, $800 million. No, that's not a typo. $800 million. This wasn't petty revenge. This was all-out war. And she didn't just name Whoopi. Karoline came for everyone at that table. Joy Behar, named. Sunny Holin, named. Even ABC itself. Right in the middle of the storm, nobody walked away clean. The accusations, beyond brutal. She wasn't just saying her feelings were hurt. She accused them of a full-scale media takedown, strategic character, destruction, coordinated slander meant to humiliate her on a national stage and send a message: conservatives not welcome. But here's the twist. Karoline didn't roll out like a victim. She marched in like a warrior. Her legal team's first statement: hit like a grenade. This isn't about politics. This is about accountability. No woman, no matter her beliefs, should be publicly dragged and humiliated for simply thinking differently. Just like that, the whole narrative flipped. It was no longer just a lawsuit. It became a cultural flashpoint, a media showdown turned movement, a defamation case turned declaration. Karoline didn't just fight back. She made it impossible for anyone to ignore what went down on that set. And now the world was watching every move.
They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the American people.
Fast forward to this week, the courtroom, packed, the tension, so thick you could feel it pressing against your skin. No cameras allowed inside, but that didn't stop the reports from flooding every corner of the internet. Whoopi showed up trying to play it cool. Oversized black shades, lips locked tight, a poker face so stiff it looked sculpted. But the mask cracked the second Karoline's legal team fired up their opening arguments. Something in the room shifted. Eyewitnesses swear. Whoopi flinched when the first video clip rolled. And that clip, brutal. Her on The View, mocking Karoline's intelligence, mimicking her accent, tossing cheap digs about her appearance like it was all part of the script. One after another, the clips kept rolling. No cuts, no edits. Just raw footage. What might have passed as banter back then now looked cold, calculated, and straight up cruel. And it hadn't aged well. Not one bit. Then came the real gut punch. Documents, emails, text messages, internal memos from producers behind the scenes. One message, allegedly read like a trap being set. Let her squirm on air. We need the spike. Another text reportedly from a senior staffer flat out joked about how the segment would blow up online if they pushed Karoline hard enough. Ratings over respect. Plain and chilling. That's when it happened. Sources say Whoopi leaned over to her attorney, whispered something nobody could hear, then slowly dropped her face into her hands. And she stayed like that. No cameras, no lights, just silence and tension. When she re-emerged after a short recess, trying to pull it together, the signs were there. Eyes watery, makeup smudged, hands shaking. This wasn't the same fierce, unbothered Whoopi viewers are used to. This wasn't the queen of clapbacks and viral quotes. This was someone rattled, shaken in a way that even fans couldn't deny. And here's the kicker. The trial had just started.
Whoopi Goldberg, who raised a few eyebrows using the Bible to support the idea of kids getting gender change surgeries. Take a look.
This is a party that says we believe in parents' rights. You're telling me that as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender affirming. Our doctors are not involved. What is going? So I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide. For my child what my child says is going on. You're telling me your beliefs, your And they keep saying it, and I keep saying, what Bible are you reading?
Yeah.
Because God was really clear.
The transformation wasn't just shocking. It was absolutely stunning. Audiences had watched Whoopi for years, commanding the screen, firing zingers, holding her ground, and effortlessly owning every panel showdown. She was untouchable, but here, in the courtroom, stripped of applause, clever edits, and the glitz of the talk show world, she looked different. She looked vulnerable. The usual swagger was gone. Across from her, Karoline sat with complete composure. No smirks, no sass, no drama, just a solid posture, and eyes locked in with laser focus. She wasn't there for TV theatrics. She was there for one thing: justice. Then, the storm hit. Karoline's legal team had something big. Months of untouched footage, unedited transcripts, and production rundowns. They had metadata, timestamps, and line-by-line proof showing a consistent pattern. It wasn't a random clash or a heat-of-the-moment mistake. It was a strategy, a deliberate attempt to tear her down. And just when the courtroom thought it couldn't get worse, the bombshell dropped. An internal memo leaked, instructing producers to push Karoline off balance, to let her unravel on air, all for the sake of ratings. Cold, calculated, ruthless. Legal analysts in the room couldn't hide their reactions. One analyst, caught in a hot mic moment, whispered what everyone was thinking. This isn't just commentary. This is coordination. That line hit like a thunderclap. There's a massive difference between a heated panel debate and a behind-the-scenes plan to destroy someone's reputation. And now, it wasn't just about crossing a line. It was about whether they'd orchestrated the whole thing.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
The courtroom froze. The tension in the air was so thick, you could feel it pressing against your skin. When Whoopi was confronted with those leaked internal memos, she struggled to maintain her composure. She claimed she wasn't involved in every behind-the-scenes decision. She tried to distance herself, saying she was just the talent, but it didn't land, not even close. Karoline's attorney didn't hesitate. No pause, no hesitation. They looked the judge dead in the eye and dropped the line that silenced the room. Ignorance is not a defense when you're speaking into a microphone heard by millions. Boom. The entire courtroom fell into a silence so heavy, it felt like the oxygen had been sucked out of the room. Heads turned, and people exchanged stunned glances. This wasn't just about words anymore. It was about accountability. Whoopi, once the face of confidence, froze. Her expression was locked. Her lips stopped moving. Her hands clenched. She blinked rapidly, clearly struggling to hold herself together. But no more words came out. The silence spoke louder than anything she could have said. Meanwhile, inside ABC, the chaos was palpable. Sources say executives were scrambling behind the scenes, holding emergency meetings, going through Whoopi's contract like it was a crime scene. Legal teams had been activated. Risk assessments were flying across desks. Damage control had gone into overdrive. The network, which once stood firmly behind Whoopi and The View, was now fighting to manage an uncontrollable crisis. The storm was far from over. Viewership numbers were plummeting. Longtime fans were second-guessing their loyalty. And the public? They weren't watching for laughs anymore. They were watching for updates on the legal battle. ABC wasn't just dealing with a scandal. They were dealing with a full-blown collapse. Advertisers were pulling out. Networks were rethinking their partnerships with the show. Even whispers inside ABC were questioning if The View could survive this meltdown. Would they suspend the show? Could they afford to keep Whoopi on air amid this PR disaster? This wasn't just a scandal, it was a reckoning. And it wasn't just Whoopi's legacy at risk. It was the future of daytime TV itself.